Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and today's video I got a theory video for you guys. A lot of you guys really like my theory videos, so I'm bringing you guys another one, and this one is a really big video because it's probably going to be something that actually happens very soon, because what you're looking at on the screen right now is actually the map as of what I was recording last night. Around midnight or so, the location Salty Springs actually had the storm icon that the current Loot Lake has at the beginning of Season 6, where there's the floating island and the storm and it flings you up really high and everything. That logo was above Salty and gone from Loot Lake. But this only happens sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time. It started at midnight, and like every other game, it would occasionally just pop up and then it would go away, and then it would pop up and it would go away again. And my friends Joseph and Jake, I believe, have had this happen to them too. And I even looked this up on YouTube to see if anybody else was getting this, and nobody was making videos about it. They were either like old like Salty Spring Battle Pass tutorials, or they were talking about how that it might be destroyed when the new season came out. So it was just right before Season 6. So this is all brand new. And I don't know why it's doing this. I have a couple theories about that I'm actually going to talk about. So like, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, though, guys. Like, do you think something's gonna happen to Salty, or do you think this is maybe like a texture glitch because, let's say, you know, they messed up at Epic, or maybe this was probably going to be the original location that something was going to happen at? I don't know, but let's talk about all my ideas that I have here. I got 3 main ideas, and the last one's probably gonna be the most solid / the most reasonable. The very first thing is that the cube probably was going to go over to Salty originally. Now, we all know that based off of, you know, like the coding and the leaks and everything, that it was proven that, Loot Lake was going to get affected by the cube. When the cube was originally made and everything, its pathing was later found out, and they were realizing that, hey, this is going to affect Loot Lake. But what if either Epic was able to prevent a leak from happening, and originally Salty was going to get affected? What would happen if Salty either got removed or changed into what Loot Lake is like? Can you imagine Salty Springs flying up in the sky and everything? That would probably disrupt the whole entire flow of like all the right half of the map. Because Salty is a very high traffic area just in general. Salty is one of the most popular areas right next to Tilted, retail, all that good stuff. So if Salty got affected, would there be more people or less people? Because Loot Lake's getting more people, just because I think that Loot Lake just in general any time before was awful. Like when it was just the flat-out normal Loot Lake with the water, it was just super bad. With the cube like melting originally and having it like be the bouncing lake, and then where it is now, it's a lot more popular and a lot more fun in my opinion. And I think that that's actually done a good thing. But I think that if they did that to Salty, people would actually go away from it less just because it would be spammed like crazy. Or maybe I'm wrong, who knows. But that's one of my main theories. The second theory that I actually have about this is that somehow what's going to happen is that even if like the storm or you know, the cube or whatever is causing all this darkness and theme that the new season is revolving around of, instead of it being like, oh, it goes over you know, originally to Salty and then they decide to change it to Loot Lake. Let me elaborate on that more. So I guess you could say this ties in like the first theory, but like what if instead of it originally going to go to Salty, what if it does go to like Salty, but it goes to like all other areas too? What if the cube is going to like affect every area in the map, or like some other areas? Because keep in mind, some of those ruined like logos are still in the ground, and they've been making those shadow cubes. And what happens if something happens with the shadow cubes, or the main cube, or the storm? Because I feel like they're almost all tied in into a sense, because if you look in the sky's like purple more than normal, like the cube. What if something with the ruins, like the logos in the ground, like light up or they activate or something, and then like it summons like all these other like storms and like catastrophes, and all the other original areas started like lifting up on the ground? You have these like floating areas now, kind of almost like the Christmas trees in back in Season 2, where we have like these little areas that are just floating, and they have like much better loot, and they have all the cubes when they get re-added and stuff like that. These could be like specific areas. I know they already kind of done that by removing like the anti-gravity zones, but what if they like all like float up and they activate, and then you have like a whole entire like almost like bubble above the map, where there's like certain designated areas and you can hop between one and the other, and there's like almost a whole entire another map above the original map? That one's a little bit outlandish, but I think that could honestly happen based off of all the stuff that's been happening in the game. Epic makes tons of really cool updates, and ever since stuff like the rocket going off, I just have no doubt that Epic can make an update like that. I really don't. But the last theory, and probably the most supportive theory, is it's probably going to tie in again once with the Visitor. The Visitor, when the Visitor was introduced back at the very, very middle, I think, of like almost dead center of Season 4 or whatever, we really haven't seen him since like when he initially stopped the rocket. So Season 3 all the way up to now is all connected. Like Season 1 and 2 really didn't have a story, but like the end of Season 3, you had the meteors. The meteors crashed, making the Dusty Depot become Dusty Divot. There was the meteor there, and it ended up releasing the Visitor in Season 4, and you had Omega, and you had Carbine, and then Omega and the Visitor ended up having the catastrophe thing with the rocket, which blew up like the sky, and then you had Season 5 begin with all the rifts and everything like teleporting in and out and stuff like that. And now we're into Season 6, and Season 6 really hasn't done much necessarily. Season 6 did have a whole bunch of things change with the map, and like at the very end of Season 5, we had the cube because of the rifts and like the storms and everything from the rocket, and now the cube is rolling into Season 6 and affecting like Loot Lake and all the other areas with the ruins and stuff. But like, what happens if the Visitor or something comes back? What if the Visitor wasn't done with what he did? What if the Visitor just tried to initially stop the rocket and then realize what he did, but we didn't know at the time, by destroying the skybase, what that did to the map, and he's probably trying to figure out a solution how to fix it, or maybe he's even working with the Enforcer, because the Enforcer is supposed to be like this space-time continuum, like police almost, based off of like the loading screens and everything. What if like the Visitor and the Enforcer are working together? What if after all this time they have been trying to figure out ways to fix what was going on with the world after the rocket blew up? Like, what if that's the case, what they're trying to fix it? Or what if the cube, in another way, is going to like start like making monsters come out of the ground and we get husks? You didn't think about that, did you? What if we actually get husks in the map for a season? Because it's around Halloween time, it'll make a lot of sense. What if the husks start coming out of the ground where the ruin locations are? Because the cube's supposed to be evil. The cube is supposed to be evil. So let's like think about that for a second. What would it be like if we had Husk in the PvP? That would just be flat out insane. That would be a really, really cool update. And even if it was just for a little bit, I think that would be kind of cool. Just have like little areas where like the shadow cubes are, and just have that be like a zombies area. And have like 5 Husk, and then maybe like one big one or something that occasionally spawns like every few games, and everyone can like work together, and then they can kill it, and it will give them like really, really good loot. Kind of almost like what Black Ops 4 Blackout did, even though that might be a little bit copying. But like, think about that. Really think about that. Wouldn't that be cool? That's like one of my like biggest theories, and I think is the one that's like the most legit, because it's around Halloween. You know, PvE has been starting to cross into PvP for a while now, and we still don't even know what the bunker does. The bunker could be like the reason for that. Maybe the bunker is because everyone's trying to prepare or hide from the husks. Because if based off of other videos, PvP is a simulation to get like the heroes in PvE ready for the actual missions. If you ever found that video, then you get what I mean. So this is a really, really cool idea in my opinion. I think that is the most reasonable. Just having the cube like summon zombies or some form of monster, because that would just be the thing that makes the most sense. If you guys agree with me on any of these theories, or if you have any of your own theories, feel free to let me know in the comments. And also feel free to drop a like if you actually enjoy the theories, and if you think that these are pretty supportive, and like good ideas, because that would help out a lot. I really, really like making theory videos, and it seems you guys really, really enjoy them too. They're one of the best videos on my channel. So please, if you agree with me, let me know, and feel free to drop a like to support the video if you do want to see more just like this. I can do theories about any sort of game or video or whatever. But anyways, guys, this is basically today's video. I hope you ended up enjoying what I had to talk about. There's a million ways that this could go. After, like I said, after all the seasons within Fortnite, especially after the rocket launch with Season 4, having these interactive events and having these cool things happen in game, I just really have no idea like what Epic's going to do next, and I believe they could flat out just do anything at this point. The impact that this game has had on the world is just absolutely insane, and I am so excited to see what happens during the season and see a lot of like cool stuff happen, because I think it's really, really going to be fun this season. I really genuinely do. But anyways, guys, basically, in summary, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed, and once again, just one last time, I'm not going to annoy you guys anymore, I promise, but please leave a like and subscribe. And after all this, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. And I really hope that Epic actually will implement this in some form or fashion into the game. Anyways, guys, today's video is done. Peace out.